morning. That was a dry good morning. Even though nobody's on here, good morning, good morning. Today is a beautiful day. Listen, I'm running a little bit behind schedule, but today is still a great day. Good morning. I know you read the title. Good morning. Who else is on here? Have you ever felt like the storm around you was too loud? Or 2 minutes in, I got to go. Have you ever realized the storm around you is too loud? Um, the weightiness of it is too heavy. It's almost like it's to the end. But what if we just thought for a second that the thunder, when I say thunder, it may be your finances, it may be anxiety, it may be a lot of things that you could be going through, emotional, mental storms, relationship, storms, health storms. But what if it wasn't there for destruction? Maybe going through those things is God's announcing his presence and preparing you for your breakthrough. Maybe, just maybe, all hell has broken loose because God is in the midst and he's getting ready to bring you to your breakthrough. Like when we think about thunderstorms, when we think about hurricanes and stuff, like we run for shelter because it looks like destruction. It looks like everything is getting ready to be torn up. It looks like it's going to be a flood. And oftentimes it is. But what if the hurricanes and the storms in your life, not literally hurricanes or storms, but the storms again of financial lack, of anxiety, of relationships, family division, marriage, divorce, friends walking away. What is that? What if that's your storm? Health storms, unexpected diagnosis, good morning, chronic pain, fear, the fear that you have. What if those are your storms? What if you're having spiritual storms, like feeling distance from God, dryness in prayer, temptation, warfare? All of these could be storms. But maybe, just maybe, let's just say with financial storms, let's just say you you can't rub two nickels together to get a dime. That's your storm right now. And you're trying to figure it out. The thunder is in your financial lack that your lights are getting cut off. You've lost your job. Feeling like no amount of effort can fix the lack. Maybe your storm look like bills piling up with no way out. But even in the lack, God is still announcing that he's still your provider. And I know it's to hear somebody say it, especially when you're going through, it's hard to just accept it because you're really going through it. Good morning, Silas. But even in the darkest, because for me, I can only give you my testimony. I have been in die-hard situations. I have been in situations to where my lights have been turned off and where I needed $10,000 within a matter of 2 weeks, or I needed $6,000. I gave my testimony in my video, and I attached it to the end of this segment. But I do know this, and I'm not telling you what I heard. In my financial lack, and in the midst of the, because at the time I was saying, this is my darkest hour. God, I knew, where you at? He showed up. He showed up. He showed up for me. And if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. In any situation, you're in emotional or mental storms, anxiety, you're having anxiety out of nowhere, depression, heavy thoughts, you're overwhelmed or you're burnt out. Maybe that's your storm. But even in that, maybe your storm doesn't show up on the outside. It's the anxiety that keeps you awake at night. But God says, even in the thunder of your thoughts, I'm still here. I'm here. And I can attest to that as well. So tired, close my eyes to sleep, but I'm really not asleep. You know, when you're in a situation like that, you know, that could lead to having a nervous breakdown. But sometimes, and when we go through life and life be happening, you go through a divorce, you go through friendships dissolving, it can be overwhelming. It could be a lot. That's a storm. And we forget that in the midst of our storm, all we have to do is look to the hills from whence cometh our help, and God will definitely help us. Not that I'm preaching this morning. I'm not preaching. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing with you this morning. And in my sharing, I'm hoping that it'll touch somebody along the way. This morning, again, before I open my Bible, I asked God, give me, what do you want me to know today? What do you want me to know? And I went to, when I opened my Bible, it was, I went to Job. It was Job 36:19. And I wasn't understanding what it was saying, but in essence, this is where this is coming from. God is letting you know, I think Eli or somebody was speaking, but God is letting you know that in the midst of your storm, that I'm there and I can bring you out. If I brought it to you, I can bring you through it. Okay? If anybody in here is going through an emotional storm or financial lack, just drop it in the comments. I put it on the community post. What is your storm that you see God preparing you for your next breakthrough? Relationship storms. Again, family division, whether it's going through a divorce, whether it's child custody, whether it's friends who walked out on you. Maybe, just maybe, your storm is the silence after people have walked away in your life. But remember, in the quietness, God's thunder is so loud. He's announcing this is a new beginning for you. You don't have to believe it, but it's true. Whether you believe it or not, you when life go to life, and you ain't got no other choice but say, okay, God, what season am I in? What storm am I in? And what are you trying to tell me? And what do you prepare me for? Because I know in my experiences, and I say it all the time, and I keep saying it, man, God shows up for me in my midnight hour. And when I say my midnight hour, I mean everything. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing but just keep holding on to my faith and keep saying, you know what? I know you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to bring me out of this, but I know you're going to do it. People calling. I'm telling you that in my midnight hour. So I know if he show up for me in my midnight hour, he'll do the same for you. Hello, somebody. What if you've gotten a health scare? That could be your storm. Unexpected diagnosis, chronic pain. And again, like I said, fear does exist. Again, Maybe in your storm that's dealing with the health storm, but what looks like, let me say this. I had a guy, a client that came to me, and the other day we was talking about addiction. It's the same guy, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him that he had colon cancer, and they had to perform surgery. Now that was his storm. That was his storm, and he was an addict, and he had tried to get sober so many other times, but it didn't happen. Y'all stay with me. When the doctor told him he had colon cancer, what they was going to have to do is remove half his colon, and he would have to be on a colonopy bag. He says, B, when I tell you I started praying and I started talking to God, if you deliver me from this, if you take this from me, God, I promise I'll do the best I can. I would not touch no drugs again. I would do this. And he was saying all those things, right? So he had to go back. They sent him to another oncologist. So we went to the oncologist, and he says, Veronica, when I tell you I was talking to God day and night, because it scared me so bad. He said it scared me so bad because I didn't want them, first of all, having cancer was scary enough. Then what's also was scary was them having to remove part of my colon and putting a colonopy bag on me. That's what he was saying. He says, don't you know? He says, God knew my heart when I was praying my prayer. He said, because I was serious as hell. He said, when he went to the other oncologist for them to give him a second opinion on it and to go and look at the mass and see what was going on. He says, Veronica, I kid you not, the doctor told me they didn't have to do surgery because he didn't see no signs of cancer. And he says now, whether the first doctor got it wrong or not, he said, I don't know. He said, but I do know they told me they saw large masses of cancer, which was in my colon. And when I prayed that prayer and went to the other oncologist for that follow-up, he said, they didn't see nothing. And he said they was going to check me every 3 years. And he said that day, he said, I went cold turkey. He said, I was doing hard drugs. He said, but when I prayed, I meant it in my heart. See, God knew he meant what he said in his heart. That's what I was telling him. And I said, and then he showed you what he would do. So that was his midnight hour. Even though his storm was a hurricane, tornado, tsunami, and all of that above, I wouldn't dare want to get that diagnosis. But if I did, I'll still be like him. God, look here. Now, you done come through for me so many times before. And today is not the day to start lacking on your giving, on your healing, on all of that. So if you're dealing with anything that with your lack or whatever your storm is, know the God, his thunder is letting you know, I'm here. I'm here. I know what they tell you because I'm standing right here. I'm listening right to them. So don't worry about it. Put your faith in me, not them, because see, I made them. I gave them the knowledge that they have. So you're going to trust them more than me? I know what they're telling you they see on that, but watch what I do. That's God talking right there. That's God talking. He loves to show up. He loves to say, let me tell you something. I told y'all, what was the name of that beast that he made that can no man tame? Listen, the other day we had it. I was talking about it. What is the name of that beast? Let me find it. Behemoth. He made the behemoth beast. And he says, can't no man tame it. He's strong. His bones can't be broken or nothing. But guess what? Job, I think it was Job he was talking to in that. Let me find my notes. He says, I made him. I'm the only one that can tame him. And I said that in essence to this. God made man, God made plants, God made everything in this world. Every beast, every fowl of the air, he's made everything. And don't you think he's got full dominion over everything? So if he made it, Okay? Say less. Maybe your storm is a spiritual storm. I don't know. But whatever your storm is, when I say spiritual storm, maybe you feel when you pray, you don't hear nothing. You don't feel nothing. And honey, we all know, we got to remember that even in the midst of asking and talking to God and telling him things that he don't answer, it doesn't mean he's not there. It doesn't mean he's not listening. Because let me tell you something. I made a video on it telling my testimony. When I was facing a year in the penitentiary, I was talking to God just like I'm talking to you. He didn't give me no answer. He didn't give me no nothing. But I said, I know you hear me. And you know why I got in this situation. Now, what I want to happen, and I said it would be a miracle if I went to court and the judge didn't remember who I was. Y'all better go listen to that testimony after this video, because that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. That was my storm. I've been in a many storms, a plethora of storms. And he has shown up. He has never let me down. He may not have came when I wanted him to come, but when he came, he was right on time. They say our time is not his time is not our time, and it's not. And a lot of times we think what we need is right then in that moment. And God says, no, I can't give it to you right now. I can't give it to you right now. Something else, I'm gonna need you to work on some more areas. I'm gonna need you to do some more things, because right now, if I give it to you, you ain't gonna be able to appreciate it. You ain't gonna be able to keep it. You ain't gonna be all these things. So right now, Veronica, I'm gonna hold off. Right now, Humbly J, I'm gonna hold off. Right now, David T, it's not the time. Silas, right now is not the time. But my time, but no, when I show up for you, it's gonna be right on time. I told you about the job that I went looking. I went and applied for the job. They had over 300 applicants and only 10 full-time positions. And I done went in there talking boldly, like God had told me the job was mine. But I was speaking that thing into existence. I told y'all that. I went in there and the HR guy that was doing the interview, his name was Barry. I said, Barry, ain't no need you look for interviewing nobody else, because that job is mine. He said, what job is yours? I said, the full-time position. I'm not getting no. And at the time, they had just started what they call flex. And flex teams were where they call you in at any time and it's just part-time work. I was so confident that God had my back. Stop playing. I was so confident. Let me tell you something, Humbly J. I was so confident that I walked in and said, God said, and God ain't told me nothing. But I was still saying it. God told me this job was mine. Then put in a 2 weeks notice. And guess what happened? They gave me the flex job. Boy, if my coworkers didn't laugh at me, and in the midst of their laughing, God put it in my spirit. He gave me confirmation. I said, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I called everybody that was laughed, then walked in my machine, walked away laughing. I said, y'all come here real quick. Come here. April, come here. Joanne, y'all, everybody come over here. Come to my machine. I says, while y'all was laughing, and here's my hand before God. I said, while y'all was laughing at me because I told y'all God gave me that they gave me that flex team position, I said, God told me, he said full time, and I'll get that full-time job. And I said, watch what I tell you. That afternoon, that same day at 3:00, Nestle Frozen Food called the Pluma Incorporated where I was working at and told them, have Veronica Harper to call me right away. And they didn't tell me until the end of shift. So when I got home, I called them. Tell me y'all done heard, what's her name? You're next in line for a miracle. What is her name? Not Dottie Peoples. But anyway, when I went home and called Nestle and Barry was on the other end, come on, don't play with me this morning. Don't play Humbly J, David. He told me on the other end, Barry says, Veronica, he said, listen, he says, now, mind you, they had offered me the flex team position and I took it, right? He says, now, I don't know what happened this morning, but something strange happened out here this morning. I said, well, what is that? He said, do you want the good news or the bad news? I said, well, Barry, give me the bad news first. He said, well, the bad news is we don't want you for the flex team job. He says, what happened this morning is so crazy, Veronica. He says, another full-time position came open and you were next in line. I would like to believe that in that moment when everybody was laughing at me because I had said God was going to give me a full-time position and he only gave me that part and they offered me the part-time position and I was still standing on what I believe God was going to do for me. I believe in that moment because I was still standing 10 toes down and my faith wasn't shaken, that God stirred up some stuff at Nestle Frozen Food and said, look, I ain't going to leave my baby hanging like that. Go and give her that job. And the best thing about this other job that came open that I was next in line for, it paid $4 more an hour than the original full-time job that I wanted. Don't play with me this morning. See, y'all talking to somebody that's got a lot of faith. That's the gift God has given me. He has given me an unmeasurable amount of faith. So let this be an encouragement to you, okay? I don't know what your storm is, but you speak to it and know that, hey, financial lack, I see you. Yeah, everybody calling me. Yeah, they said they're going to repossess the car. Well, take it because I ain't going to keep worrying about it. Because if you take this one, God going to bless me with another one. I don't care what my credit look like. I don't care what kind of money I got. Don't y'all know God will open up doors for you and have people doing stuff and they don't even understand why they're doing it. I'm trying to tell you what I know, not what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. But the 15 of you on here, y'all better grab hold to this because this is for you this morning. And whoever come and watch this video after it posts, it's for you. Hold on to your faith. No matter what your storm is, know that God is the storm. And he's coming through and say, listen, I done created everything. Let me go ahead and clear this up for you. But you still need to keep believing, no matter what it looks like, no matter what they tell you, no matter what you've lost, no matter nothing. Sometimes a setback is a setup. Y'all not hearing me this morning. Or maybe you're hearing me and just not giving thumbs up, but I don't care. Thank you for the hearts, whoever gave me the hearts. But I just want y'all to know, listen, whatever your storm is, I messed up my notes. Whatever your storm is, no matter what your storm looks like, whether it's financial, emotional, relationship storms, health, or spiritual, the thunder is not your end. No, I said the thunder. The thunder is all the chaos. The thunder is all the wind. The thunder is all the rain. You know, God made all of that. No matter what it is, it's not your end. It's God announcing his presence, his power, and your new beginning. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all better stop playing. Okay? So with that being said, listen, I got to get out of here. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Daryl, good morning. Y'all watch the my playlist that's after this to give you more encouragement. And again, I'm not telling y'all nothing that I've heard. I'm telling you what I know. And I can only testify to my beginning, to my everything that I go through. So again, Humbly J, you have an amazing rest of your day. Unique creation. God bless you. And listen, we're going to do this again tomorrow, same time. All right? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all, if y'all haven't subscribed, like, share, and subscribe.